Pacho, me mamu nyina akwaba. Now, ewo video we mo no, make sure chi-square test ewo chi ekasemu. Okay, now, say you can chi-square test a form of hypothesis testing. Okay, so you can chi-square test a form of hypothesis testing. Now, you can say hypothesis testing a test bi a ye de hwe inkita ho a eda enema mienu mu. Enema mienu a eda nso wɔ nipa mu. Statistics mu ye friend variables. Variable akwa ye te say enema eda nso ɛwɔ enipa mu. Anase enema eda nso ɛwɔ bibi mu. It is a fact to say enipa mfi a wadi a te say age a. Ofa nipa mienu omo age no different. Into statistics mu no bibi eda nso ɛwɔ bibi mu niema mu. Ana bibi eda nso ɛwɔ enipa mu no. Statistics mu ye friend variable. Now chi-square test no ye de hwe inkita ho eda nso ɛwɔ variables mu. Nti se ofa variables mienu te say mfi a enipa di ene whether say omo wɔ blood pressure te say gender and blood pressure variables mienu. Chi-square test no ye de hwe inkita ho eda variables mu. Usually variables no ye pe variables ye qualitative. Nti chi-square test akwa ye te say statistical test a ye de hwe inkita ho eda qualitative variable mienu mu. Nti ebetimi ama qualitative variable te say gender. And ebetimi nso ama qualitative variable te say academic performance. Nti chi-square test no ye de hwe inkita ho eda variables mienu. Nti variables no nti tem bi ebema variables mienu na wo wa ye chi-square test no. Test ne beboa ama ye betimi ahu say okay variables mienu we there is a relationship between them in kita ho da omontem. And as a variables in kita ho bi enye den in your omontem. Chi-square test ene ye de yesa. Nti yen share example 3 we no. Make sure mu wo twi mu. Good. Now may read the question. The question they may read in English, but make sure mu e wo twi mu. A health researcher wants to determine whether diet type is related to obesity status among adults. The data collected are shown below. So we have diet type, we have the obesity status, and then the question goes ahead to say that test at 5% level of significance whether diet type is related. In the amount of questions is a chi-square test question. You have a table. So table we na yama no. Our chi-square test mu statistics and your friend observed frequency table. So table na thing beyond the amount our question mu no. Question ni mo your friend observed frequency table. Okay, good. Now table no sanity. Into what kind of question you say health researcher want to determine whether diet type is related to obesity status. Into what question abos the amount variables mienu ewo question nim. Your diet type and diet type and your obesity status. Into chi-square test we never question him or be share relationship that diet type and a relationship status. Sorry, obesity status emu. Into amount diet type and obesity status. Into be share say onipa duane type a odi ene whether say onipa no ye kese bro so no obehwe say relationship be at the one. You get it? That is what the chi-square test is about. Good. Into share diet type now your diet type mienu from observed frequency table we know. Diet type mienu na wa nti obehwe obehu se ye healthy diet obi offer healthy diet and ye unhealthy diet. Nti che say diet type ahodo mienu na wa table nim. Obi offer healthy diet and obi offer unhealthy diet. Into we table no say ni nchire mutie. Into omo fa healthy diet no. Ye omumu bi omo ye obese and ye omumu bi omo nye obese. Into sa row we nyina gina omo fa healthy diet. Into omo fa healthy diet no emu 16 obese. Omo fa healthy diet no emu 34 nye obese. Sa na eha na se ekire. Into ofa omo fa healthy diet na table ne say emu 16 obese. Anasa ofa omo ye omo efa healthy diet na obese fo ewom 16. Ofa omo fa healthy diet na omo nye obese omo wom no omo ye 34. Inte ha se rowing se opesu hu omo fa healthy diet na obeka 16 we ne 34 na bom bon se obenya 50. Inte rowing gina ho ma omo ye den. Rowing nyina gina ho ma omo fa healthy diet. Inte rowing nyina gina ho ma omo fa healthy diet no. Inte opesu ka omo healthy diet ni bom na unya omo dodo a obeka 16 we dia kan 34 no bon se obenya 50. Afi oba ase de na unhealthy diet. Omo fa unhealthy diet no. Omo ye obese ewom 24. And omo fa unhealthy diet no. Omo nye obese wom 26. Nti rowing nyina gina homa unhealthy diet. Into person who nipa dodo omo fa omo efa unhealthy diet na 24 we plus 26 most will be 50. Inti sa rowing nyina gina homa omo fa unhealthy diet. Good. Ena afi opesu hu table no opesu hu nipa dodo a nti unse obesity status no so esro ha nyina gina homa obesity status. To obesity status no mienu na wa ha. Obese ena omo nye obese. Nti ofa omo ye obese na obese fo no dodo nyina no opesu hu a obeka 16 we dia kan 24 no obonsu benya 40. Ena opesu hu nipa dodo omo nye obese na we omunye obese na eno na ye not obese no eno so person who omo do 34 plus 26 no wanya sa the table we na se kire. Now statistics mu no sa type of table we na etese no your friend 2 by 2 table. Now 2 by 2 table the your friend 2 by 2 table ne say table no o kan ahwe eha yen kan table ne ho eha na ye total ne so yen kan table ne ho. And I see how we see a total and can't table no. And a hana ye die type and can't table no. Baby a frequencies ne one. And only a can't table no. And if I frequencies no ha fee ha ebeka ha. And a fee ha beka ha. Into a shabo si row ni row bakuni. And a row a toss mienu any. Column non so bakuni. And a column a toss bakuni. Into a sha row no ye 1 2. And a column nso ye 1 2 inti statistics mun the table be etese no your friend 2 by 2 table say etese no your friend 2 by 2 table inti mame embo ne tofa inti omo fa healthy diet no omo ye obese no omo ye 16 omo fa healthy diet omo nye obese no omo ye 34 omo fa unhealthy diet omo ye obese no omo ye 24. Omo fa unhealthy diet. Omo nye obese no, omo ye 26. Now, row we nyina gina homo omo fa healthy diet. Row ase we nsu nyina gina homo efa unhealthy diet. Into table types and your friend 2 by 2 table. I didn't see your friend 2 by 2 table. 2 by 2 table if you say e will rows mienu and e will columns mienu. Rows mienu no way row baako ni and row e toso mienu ni. Column nso column baako ni and column e toso mienu ni. In statistics table say and your friend 2 by 2 table. Now oba see how the question goes ahead to say that test at 5% level of significance whether diet type is related. Into the question goes on to say we should test at 5% level of sometimes question on trusted test at 5% level of significance. Or Becca said test at 95% confidence interval. 95% confidence interval no the same as say you actually said test at 5%. If you say exams na say oh yeah 95% confident I say who give you out 5% to chance. I say 5% no you're confident. So 5% now when you're confident and then your friend is significance level. It is a question nature say test it. 5% confidence interval. 5% confidence interval. No, so I had to say actual 5 over 100. Say actual 5%, 5% to say 5 over 100. 5 over 100 no. Say we simplify mass more. 0.05. Into sometimes no mo betro say alpha level 0.05. And no so as I was sharing so say anything beyond a 5%. But in pain P no chi-square testimony, I'm bet sure say 5% significant level. But you bet me a questioner, and you bet me a chi-square questioner, 2%. You bet me a chi-square questioner, 1%. But in pain do no, and I say in pain P no, you bet catch us a test with 5% significance level. Okay, good. Now, yati table national. Afi yenhwe how I will solve no. Now, our chi-square test no. First thing I will say, ube state the friend hypothesis. The first step no. And I say the D kind yes I will say, ube state hypothesis. And then I add the D kind as a way. Into the first step, I will say, ube state the friend hypothesis. Now, hypothesis now ube state no. Mienu. Hypothesis na enye baako. Statistics mu no hypothesis bia mienu. Se hypothesis na ye trauma baako kra na wo na ese wo ti ase se statistics mu no se ye ka hypothesis a enema mienu na enam. Na hypothesis no de edi kan ye friend na hypothesis. De etoso mienu ye friend alternative hypothesis. Na se ye ka se na hypothesis a de ase kire ne se variables mienu na yedema our question. You say question we variables na ewo no. Diet type and obesity status. And then variables mienu ewo question we. Now say wo try na hypothesis na dey a wo be try ne say inkitahu bia na say inkitahu bia enna anaso be ka say relationship bia enna diet type any obesity emu. So statements in your friend hypothesis. Hypothesis akoye say o can be to wha enni nyina so. And nti ne ye chi-square test. Send e be ya ye chi-square test na chi-square test na ebe kire say asem na ye kan no when correct and answer when wrong. Nti ne ye hypothesis testing no. Into be state hypothesis mienu. Hypothesis na ye di kan ne kire say there is no relationship between diet type and obesity. And then the first hypothesis in the friend na hypothesis. Into sa hypothesis na eba be kire say in commodity bia na say nkitahu bia and na diet type any obesity mo no sa hypothesis na edi kan no. HS nkitahu bia ni ho no. Eno your friend na hypothesis. Now hypothesis na etoso mienu na no eba be kire say nkitahu eda diet type any obesity emu obesity status emu sa hypothesis no your friend alternative hypothesis. Now answer no best start calculation no sa hypothesis na ese wo tro and to be tro sa on na hypothesis no any alternative hypothesis to when na hypothesis now what can you say there is no relationship between diet type and obesity status. In time be anya to say question be ebe ma obi a obetro there is no relationship between diet type and hypothesis status. So obehwe variable na ye de ama wo question. Me say question we variable no diet type and obesity status. Into no we wadwi mu say o tro na hypothesis na o baba betro said there is no relationship between the diet type and obesity status. Into variable kona ye de ma wo question no. Now they are twaso. Now about alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis, now they are trying to say there is a relationship between diet type and obesity status. In the quite to say opposite. But say what draw na hypothesis ninkwa. Now one draw alternative hypothesis ninkwa. Wrong. Marks no unyani nyina. In the time be our na hypothesis no. Now I draw alternative hypothesis no. On draw a move back up. Now, and on step 1. Where we step 1 no, obeba second step a friend is step 2. Now, step 2 no, we call it compute or calculate expected frequency. Our chi-square test me be expected frequency. Now, expected frequency no, The entire statistics mu ye calculate expected frequency ne say ye pese ye hu how as frequencies we nhwe frequency we 16 34 24 26 ye pese ye hu how as frequencies no ebeye say in case say truly in kasa no hypothesis we no hypothesis we na ya state no there is no relationship say in case say no hypothesis say ye no crea say ye no crescent susan hu bia ni diet type any obesity type ni mu a say na sa frequencies we ebeye enunti ni ebe calculate say expected frequency we into expected frequency no be me hu say ebe me ate how our frequencies na nke be sifate say nka case no kre nka insusan hu bia ni anase relationship bia ni variables ni mu a say na nka frequencies na ebeye enunti ni e calculate expected frequencies no but your formula expected frequency the formula ne say rows na into expected frequency no obe calculate expected frequency amasa 16 ring now we calculate expected frequency amasa 34 ring now we calculate expected frequency amasa 24 ring now we calculate expected frequency ama 26 no ring can frequencies ne ho sa 50 ring can frequency ne ho 50 ring mu nyina gina ho ma total until you calculate expected frequency ama 50 ama 16 way you calculate expected frequency ama 34 no calculate expected frequency ama 20 any expected frequency ama 26 no but formula ne say o person who ring ni expected frequency a share ni row total ni 50 now I be share ni column total we na ye column ni 16 way ni column total 40 way formula ne say multiply this 50 way by this 40 way now we divide by 100 into formula ne say row total multiplied by column total divided by grand total when your friend a grand total ha say amount 2 by 2 table as a 100 we and your friend a grand total formula ne say gina 16 we so na rule ko ekohwe ni row total 50 na bra ase na oba be hu ne column total 40 formula ne say multiply 50 way by 40 way need divide by 100 into 50 multiplied by 40 no divided by 100 answer now will be nya no eno na ye expected frequency for SAR 16 no into eno na ye wa ha no to both say 50 multiplied by 40 no divided by 100 and ye nya 20 now no aba e han so 34 we o person hu ne expected frequency a check ni row total 50 ne check ni column total 60 formula ne say multiply 50 way by 60 no what divided by grand total 100 into obe share wa ha no ne aye wa ha no into 50 multiplied by 60 no what divided by then 100 ubon se wanya 30 no wa ha now about 24 no so be ye ne expected frequency 24 no rule ne kokohwe ne row total 50 really ba say her last one we no eno na ye ne column total internal say 40 formula na say multiply 50 way by 40 way no divided by 100 into oba high no na ye wa ha no 50 multiplied by 40 no divided by 100 na amount 20 na fi wa ba 26 no obe calculate expected frequency for sa 26 way now kai say ye be start me catch you say sa table we e de be ma wo question we mu no ye fresh sa table we observe frequency table. Okay, good. Into person we ye expected frequency for 26 we check ni row no. Ni row total na 50. Ni column total na so 60. Into formula na say multiply 50 we by 60 ni divide by 100. Into obe hwe ha eno na yaye wa ha 50 multiplied by 60 divided by na yenya 30. Now in pen p no expected frequency in pen p no be hu se be ye pe enye tem bia but in pen p no bo expected frequencies no ebeye pepepe nti o hwa bo expected frequency for eha ene ha no 2020 expected frequency for eha na eha no so ye 30 nti pen p no be hu se similarities bi e were expected frequencies ni me no nche say you're wrong. Now what calculate expected frequency na we no akọ third step. Okay, third step e wa ha third step no de obeye ne say third step no de obeye ne say ube state into bones step 3 ewa ha into from step 2 no step 3 ewa ha step 3 no ube state the friend significance level ube state bibi friend significance level. Now significance level na question ni mo de da inte ha no bones third step on yen show ha but kai say ube state bibi friend significance level. Significant level no the same as the friend alpha level. Significant level no thing be the bema our question him. Into her question we also test at 5% significance. Okay, level of significance. It's significant level near 5%. 5% let's say 5 over 100. Into chess a question we on a significant level no a 0.05. Our question we significant level no a 0.05. Now when trust significant level na we no now about step 4. Step 4 no obe calculate chi-square statistic. Obe calculate chi-square statistic. Now a hand is very important. In terms of you pay attention. Now a hand we do step 4 now obe draw table for fraud. Obe draw table for fraud. But answer obe draw table for fraud. My main share table we in the asset. So we share table we ya. Table we mono. One way ya on see as a table we a show near my mako 4. A show near my 4. Even though who net is saying Shabeka say near my me show, but table we a show near my 4. And near my 4 no mamin chimuncho. Ye omo fa healthy diet. Omo ye obese. Omo ye 60 and the decan and ye the decan. Ye omo fa healthy diet. Omo ye obese. And on a toss me no. Ye omo fa unhealthy diet. Omo ye obese and not toss me ensan. And ye omo fa unhealthy diet. Omo ye obese and on a toss 4. Inti table we na nkasa no e show niema mako 4. Inti obe hwe ha ubon se ya tro niema 4 ne wa ha. Inti table we obe draw table foforo. Now sa table foforo de nti a eso draw table foforo say sa table no ye pese u show expected frequency no ne observed frequency ni nyina wo so. Inti obe hwe abon se we table we gina homa expected frequency. Table we na o calculate e was step 2 we no no. And I will share how both table we nso gina homa den observe frequency table we near the be mount question ni no. Good into be ha oba be draw table for ba sa table no oba draw ni different share format we how it ye thing be mount table na sa na be no into table na say na say kire ye omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese omo ye 16 observe frequency ni ye 16 tell no na ye wa ha no into omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese observe no ye 16 and expected no ye 20 10 na wa ha no into you say healthy diet for omo ye obese expected for no e range no expected omo ye 20 and observe for no omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese omo so ye 16 into no na wa ha no into omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese observe for ye 16 expected for ye 20 no wa ba ha omo fa healthy diet omo nye obese omo ye 34 and ye for observe oba expected omo fa healthy diet omo nye obese omo ye 30 into oba no na ye wa ha no omo fa healthy diet omo nye obese ubon say observe for ye 34 expected for ye 30 now afa omo fa healthy diet unhealthy diet for omo ye obese expected for ye 20 and obeshe observe for ye 24 omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese ube say observe for ye 24 and expected for no 20 into ba no na wa ha no into omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese na observe for ye 24 expected for ye 20 into no na wa ha no what I say omo fa unhealthy diet omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese no observe for no expected for ye 20 and observed for a 24 into be sha bon se no na ya show omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese bon se 24 against 20 now about last one omo fa healthy diet omo nsanye obese omo so ya he 26 we mu no omo fa unhealthy diet and omo nye obese omo so ya he 26 into oba ha bon se eno ane wa omo fa healthy diet unhealthy diet for omo nye obese Oba observe expected frequency almost 30. Into be shabun sene ne wahano. Unhealthy diet for omunye obese. Observed for norm 26. That 26 ne wahano. We unhealthy diet for omunye obese 26. Ena oba expected no so unhealthy diet for omunye obese 30. Into babun sene ne wasiano 26 against 30. Now why ye a hana wie no observe ni expected na wie. Obesan create column for e de atoa so. Now, sa calling for from no better formula no was through hano aguso. Formula no babe apply formula nama categories 4 na watchron. Be apply formula nama 4 categories ni nyina. Inti sa observe inti formula no say atro calculated r squared. Sa de we gina ho ye friend calculated r squared. And I say calculated chi square or computed chi square. Sa de we s capital S squared we. Your friend computed chi-square or calculated chi-square. Formula says summation of into bracket observed minus expected close the bracket all squared all over expected. Into babetro a ha part no onfa summation we nka ho. Oba babetro a ha no. Oba babetro obe critical info from no atro gusro. Into no yaye wa ha no observed minus expected close the bracket all squared all over expected. Afi befa category biya na observed frequency no any expected frequency no o de abehye formula nim inti ofa omo ye healthy omo fa healthy diet omo ye obese na observed for near 16 expected for near 20 no de abehye inti formula no observed 16 expected 20 close the bracket squared all over say the near expected near 20 no de share o sami ababa benya 16 over 20 bo se be ma 0.80. Now aba omo fa healthy diet omo nye obese e half on second category no omo ye omo fa healthy diet omo nye obese observed ni yenya 34 expected ni yenya 30 no de abehye formula nim. Formula ne say observed minus expected. Observed for near 34 into any wahano. Expected for near 30 any wahano. Close the bracket all squared all over 30. Then be be take you time. No one making sure so be ball calculator next year because one money year will be wrong. Into babinya 16 over 30 and also sami babinya 0.53. Now say we are good in calculator na who here say we be breaking it down ababe ye obetimi abon straight na wa benya 0.53 no uwi na wa ba omo fa unhealthy diet omo ye obese observe for no ye 24 expected for no ye 20 no then nso abehye formula nim na wa same na wanya 0.80 uwi na wa be for omo fa unhealthy diet or omo nye obese observe for no ye 26 expected for no ye 30 Nano so their chef formula nim. Ubon so sami ababenya 0.53. Ujia formula ne say we na chese summation we na formula we at symbol we na chef formula na nim chese kan ni nyina bom. Into we abeka 0.80 no. O de beka 0.53 no. No de aka 0.80 no. No asan de aka 0.53 na no yaye wa ha no. Into me catch o de di kan say sa symbol we gina homa calculated chi-square. Into calculated chi-square no ebeye 0.80 plus 0.53 plus 0.80 plus 0.53 na ma 2.66. Into sa de we 2.66 we ejina homa calculated chi-square. Calculated chi-square. Now when you calculated chi-square we no obeko step 5. Step 5 no oko calculate bibi e friend degrees of freedom. Oko calculate bibi e friend degrees of freedom. Now degrees of freedom no the formula say df is equal to degree of freedom no statistics man one e friend df. Okay, and one e friend df. Now degree of freedom no formula ne say rho r into brackets r minus 1 close the bracket open the brackets c minus 1 close the brackets df is equal to into brackets r minus 1 close the brackets open the bracket c minus 1 and then df no your friend degree of freedom. Now r range na homa rows dodo e what table na e de ma question ni no and c range gina homa columns dodo e de ma e what question na table na e de ma question ti hwe unse me kire you start here and say table we a friend 2 by 2 table. 2 by 2 table or statistics rows need to do a 2 into where row no 1 2 columns ne so 1 2 rows no 1 2 kai say e ha no nka row ne ho e na total se ha nso nka row ne ho column ne nso e ha enka column ne ho e na diet ha no nso nka column ne ho into where esro ha no nso nka rows ne ho into rows ne row 1 row 2 columns ne nso 1 2 baby a frequencies ne wo no e ho pe e na wo de kan rows ne columns no into we have row 1 and a row 2 and a higher column 1 and a column 2 into the friend 2 by 2 table. Now Kai says the amount 2 by 2 table be our statistics in one row near 2 column a 2. Now into the sa R is equal to 2 no and C is equal to 2 in my share formula into DF is equal to into bracket 2 minus 1 close the bracket open the bracket 2 minus 1 2 minus 1 ebema 1 a hands to 2 minus 1 bema 1 1 times 1 or 1 multiplied by 1 bema 1 but another thing so a bit me there 2 with 3 minutes say anytime a bema 2 by 2 table to say e or chi-square test no degree of freedom no 1 anytime a bema 2 by 2 table be a degree of freedom the thing be a 1. Now we are no about step 6 no Kai say steps no ka ideal in case step we step 7 but because of say escape one step into kai into higher step 6 no a critical value step 6 no obe calculate the friend critical value no ube use degree of freedom now wa calculate was step 5 no any level of significance na e question no into okay say level of significance no yes level of significance no 5% na say 5 over 100 is 0.05 into the step 6 now we calculate critical value no ube use say degree of freedom when DF no any significant level 0.05 no into say DF no is 1 and a significant level is 0.05 into obeko share chi-square table your table be your statistics me friend a chi-square distribution table now table ne so oba share df1 in a wahano now I should share level of significance no 0.05 unse level of significance na e wo your question mu no 0.05 0.05 ni nyawe e wa ha e wo question nim any 5% nature say 5 over 100 5 over 100 is normal 0.05 into ubeba chi-square distribution table no I share df1 against level of significance 0.05 to babe shabun say level of significance no 3.84 oh level of significance ni 3.84 good into sa 3.84 no oh and no your friend a critical value into when your friend chi-square critical value. Chi say win a had the and win your friend a calculated chi-square. But I dear we now are calculating no. A table this your friend a chi-square critical value. And I say, oh their friend a critical value. Statistics when your friend a critical value. Into the audit DF on significant level no share with table this no. Your friend a critical value. Into sa critical value no be try to into o try a capital S squared na see no the critical na show. And as we bit me actual capital S squared critical value is equal to 3.84 and then a wahan. Into be use DF1 no any significant level 0.05 wants to be near 3.84. Uya no aba be tro no ho. Uya no aba step 7 your friend decision rule. Step 7 no your friend decision rule. Now decision rule no e chi-square test no your decision rule mienu. Decision rule no na eba be boa ama wa make your conclusion ama anasa ama wa finalize the answer no. Into that decision rule no tem be compose yes or true decision rule mienu ni nyina. Now decision rule no the edi kan say sa calculated chi-square we one say the step 4 now ye no your friend calculated chi-square no. Sa calculated chi-square now o ye no. Say calculated chi-square no esun critical value we ya. Na hypothesis na we state ye no reject no. Sa null hypothesis now we state was step 1 reject no. Timamin go over beam. Decision rule, first decision rule ne say calculated chi-square now we here was step 4 no. Calculated chi-square we. Answer now we no. Say esun. Esen critical value now what the DF ne significant level ni nya say so say na reject hypothesis na edi kan na was state here no. Na hypothesis no reject men yentum. Say and okay say na hypothesis ne say relationship be any variables name diet type any obesity status relationship be a name into decision rule na di kan say calculated chi-square we na unya wa 2.266 no say eson 3.84 na hypothesis na di kan reject. Is that okay? Reject sa hypothesis na di kan no. Say any aden so back where say o hye so ne say reject hypothesis na di kan na say kire say hypothesis na etoso mienu no wagye atom ba e was statistics mu no yem pese wo beka say wagye hypothesis na di kan no so etoso mienu na atom. That statement no wrong in statistics. Instead of say say calculated chi-square no so saying critical value na accept the alternative hypothesis no can say wrong. Instead of say calculated chi-square no so saying critical value na accept the alternative hypothesis on can say obeka say reject the null hypothesis. But as we do say all reject null hypothesis na automatically na it say we accept alternative hypothesis. But in statistics no so statement to say accept alternative hypothesis no in statistics mu no wrong. Yen kasa kasa no was statistics. Okay, into the first decision rule ne say calculated chi-square no in critical value na reject na hypothesis no. Now second decision rule ne so say calculated chi-square no esua ana say any critical value no fail to reject the null hypothesis. Oh, say it here. Say statistics say interesting no. How unso say fail to reject the null hypothesis. Unso say you can say fail to reject null hypothesis. Akwa to say accept null hypothesis no jetum. Just say sa statement say accept no yen person will be use hypothesis testing yen use sa statement no. Another thing so as I was sharing so ne say decision no tem be a decision no no hypothesis ne so. In tem be a say make decision na you make decision no null hypothesis ne so. You make decision no alternative hypothesis ne so. Ye basic decision no null hypothesis ne so. Inti obetro two decision rules no. Decision rule di kind say calculated chi-square no in critical value na or the DF ne significance ni nya na reject na hypothesis no. Now decision etoso mienu ne say calculated chi-square no esua ana say any critical value no fail to reject the null hypothesis. Now say you can say fail to reject the null hypothesis akwa to say you catch out say accept no. Just say that word accept no yen pese will be use it's a complete error. Yen pese will be use because in statistics no you deal with evidence ne bit me are true or false. Inti yen pese will be make a statement to say accept no hypothesis testing. Good. Inti yen share your calculation we into share calculation now be who say your calculated chi-square near 2.66 and your critical value near 3.84 say we esua esin we your calculated chi-square no esua say your calculation we no meet the second rule. Say second rule ne say calculated chi-square no esua and say any critical value near fail to reject the null hypothesis. Into so be sure your calculated chi-square no a 2.66. And a critical value na ye hwehwe no nso ye 3.8. When you say win eswasin win te say na hypothesis no we have to fail to reject. Say you can fail to reject the null hypothesis. I say null hypothesis no ye no kware. True. But ye mpesa wo betro say you've accepted the null instead of say we trust say we accept the null hypothesis no. Ye pesa wo try to say we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Very interesting. It's simple. As what do I dream baso now unya understanding. Instead of say we've accepted the null hypothesis and through this way, we fail to reject. The moment I say we fail to reject the null hypothesis, no. Akwa to say we can say we've accepted the null hypothesis. Just say and person will be use word accept. Simple as that. Say or say if the calculated chi-square is less than or equal to the critical value, fail to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, 2.66 is less than 3.84. We fail to reject the null hypothesis. So, okay, so you fail to reject the null hypothesis. And say null hypothesis no no cre. So null hypothesis no cre. Null hypothesis no na eka. Null hypothesis say there is no relationship. Inti calculation na ya ni nyina de yen ane say sa null hypothesis we na state you step 1 no no kware. Say there is no relationship between diet type and obesity status. No about betro conclusion. Into oba conclusion we no about betro. Since the calculated chi-square value is less than the critical value, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, there is no significant relationship between diet type and obesity status, although the relationship is very close. In total, we say 2.6 no. Akaka krane nka baba bedu 3.84, but still na iswa esen no. Say we fail to reject the null hypothesis. But shade since you calculate ye no, and as 2.66 win. In case so same critical value ni nya wa hanan count the enfan say calculate ye nya ye enfan say 10.66 ah. No say 10.66 eso sin win think no na say ye answer ni be meet first rule no. First rule ni say reject the null hypothesis. Say o reject null hypothesis na meaning say o conclusion no. O conclusion ni be abaye win. Into conclusion ni be kwa yes say since the calculated chi-square is greater than the critical value, we reject the null hypothesis, meaning say there is a significant relationship between diet type and obesity status. But your calculation, we don't see a big say calculated chi-square near 2.66. And a critical value near 3.84. And not just say we meet the second decision rule until we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Say who fail to reject the null hypothesis, and not just say what the null hypothesis na yede atom. Sanity as simple as that. Inti when a chi-square testing. So we will end over here. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you for following the tree version. All the best to you guys. I hope switching to use the tree version or the Ghanaian language help enhance understanding. All the best to you guys. Bye bye.